Hey everyone, my name is Aubrey and I'm an opera singer. Inherently, I'm not really much of a YouTuber. I'm mostly just making this channel to answer questions that I get asked a lot because it's easier for me to be able to point to a video and say, look, this answers your question. Number one question that I get from students and even just friends who are also opera singers is, what do you do when you're sick? Opera singers are a lot like baseball players. They have their lucky charms that work for them, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily based in science or anything like that. It's just stuff that works for that opera singer. I'm sure this also exists outside of opera, probably in musical theater or any other kind of performing art and anything that requires your voice. But I have two fail-safes that I really like that are relatively low cost, and then one very great option that pretty much every opera singer really abides by. Number one, almond milk. I drink unsweetened almond milk instead of water, especially during auditions. I feel like when I'm drinking water, it actually washes away the healthy, comfortable mucus. Sorry, it's nasty. And it leaves behind a rather dry sensation. It makes me want to clear my throat more and consequently causes a little bit more irritation. Again, not based in science, but I feel as though water actually does a little bit more of a disservice because it just feels like it takes away everything that feels comfortable and lubricating in there, and that's just not great, which is not surprising if anybody has explored water as a lubricant in any way. Anyways, almond milk, it's got a very oily texture, for lack of a better word, and it just serves a very good purpose when it comes to singing. I really like it. I don't have anything against soy milk or coconut milk, but personally I just like the flavor better of almond milk. Number two is Ricola cough drops. And the reason why is because a lot of Ricola, if not all, don't quote me on that, do not have a menthol kind of sensation or a spearmint kind of sensation. I have had students in the past come up to me and say, yeah, I've been chewing gum, I've been, eating cough drops, that kind of stuff, taking mints, and it's not really working for me, it's not really helping me. And that makes sense, because if you're using a menthol or a mint-based product, it can be a little bit irritating for your throat, and I can point to how you have those natural lip plumpers, and they it's a pepperminty kind of flavor, and it goes into your lips and it just kind of tingles a little bit. Well, if you're, having minty gum or mints themselves, it can sometimes create that same sensation, and it's not super great. That also goes in line with the drying out. They're very high in sugar, a lot of gums and mints, in comparison to other things, and that's not great. Sugar can be a little bit difficult to work with, at least for myself. I also don't like things that are super salty. I actually have a colleague who swears by potato chips being his thing of choice, and that makes so little sense to me because it's super dry and it's super salty, and I just don't see how that helps singing at all. But again, like I said earlier, every opera singer has their lucky charm. Another colleague of mine swears by apple juice. I would imagine it probably has very similar properties. It's not water, it's kind of sweet or like syrupy, so it creates that lubricating sensation while also cooling and relaxing and providing some hydration, which is good. Hydration is super important. Which leads me to my third and final point, which is tea/rest. So when you are sick, a lot of people really love to go drink tea. I am also one of those people. I love tea. It's wonderful. But tea is a really nice choice because it is very high in water, obviously, because it's just leaves and water together. And so it's very hydrating, and there are sometimes really nice calming and soothing properties. When I was living in Austria, I used an elderflower blossom tea, which was really pleasant. That's one of my favorite flavors. I grew up with a lot of elderflower flavors, so I was really excited when I saw that. Then the next one is rest. This is probably the biggest thing. Resting when you're sick or tired for whatever reason is so important. It is never, ever worth trying to sing on swollen/irritated chords. Ever. It's never gonna work, and also it's probably gonna go and do more damage afterwards than you really intended, which will lengthen your recovery process. Don't do it. Trust me. Just wait it out. If you have a cold, it will go away. Even if you think you're never gonna get your voice back again, you're likely to get it back. But that being said, it can be super frustrating as a singer to lose your voice for any reason. I remember losing it for an extended period of time, probably like 5 to 6 days when I had a cold, and I was so stressed. I was like, why? But eventually it did come back and it was fine. But my problem was I kept trying to sing on it prematurely. I was not prepared, and I was going out and trying to sing and being frustrated, which actually, you know, looking back on it, was probably doing more damage than good. And now I kind of try to take as much rest time as I need in order to fully prepare for when I am feeling better. It helps speed up the recovery process. That being said, rest is also really good emotionally. Singing can be very emotionally taxing, and it's good to take some time to kind of separate yourself from the art, because when you're singing, it's something so personal. A lot of the times people will say that they're more exhausted after a performance simply because they know people are going to be listening very actively to their instrument, and their instrument is themselves. The voice comes from within me. So when people are judging my singing, they're also kind of judging me as a person. I can't change my voice. This is what I was given, and this is all I have. So when people are talking about my vocal style or my technique or me making mistakes or me sounding great, they're talking about something that's within me that I really can't change. I can do the best I can with what I was given and learn, but I can't fundamentally change the sound. It's like a fingerprint. So taking a little bit of a rest or a step back from everything that I'm doing is really, really helpful. And it kind of lets me recalibrate and be more ready to take the stage the next time I'm needed, versus me just trucking through and hoping that I'm in a better emotional space the next day. Sometimes you just need to take 24 hours of not doing anything related to the voice so that you can both recuperate physically and mentally. Never feel ashamed to take those days, because we all should take these days, and we should normalize it for sure. Long story short, singing when sick sucks because you should never do it. Long story short, singing during cold and flu season is never easy, nor is it fun. But there are ways that we can all try and protect ourselves a little bit, one of which being covering your mouth when you cough, preferably with your elbow instead of your hand, because that's just rude. So coughing into your elbow. Washing your hands is the best way to prevent any kind of illness being spread to you and to others. Make sure you're washing your hands for at least 20 seconds. Find a part of your favorite aria and sing to it. It's wonderful, it's so helpful. And it also prepares you for auditions, because I know you're not practicing if you're watching my video. You want to make sure that you take care of yourself, and you also take care of those around you by being respectful of other people's space. Staying healthy is important to having a good career, but it's also not the career ender that people think. It's something that's hard to do, and when you get sick, that's okay. It's all right to cancel. And that's a radical thing to say, but it's okay to cancel. If you're not feeling well, cancel. It is never worth, in my opinion, going up on stage and delivering a performance that isn't something that represents you. If you're not feeling well, do not get your colleagues sick, and do not do something that could potentially prevent you from having the confidence the next time you perform. It's okay. I don't love buying all these different kinds of supplements and all these different kind of tools like, humidifiers and such. I'm sure they work for some people, but, at the moment, I don't necessarily have oodles of money, so buying a $3 gallon of almond milk and a $1 bag of Ricolas works for me. It gets the job done. I try to go to sleep at reasonable times, I try to eat healthy, I try to work out, and I try to respect other people's distancing rules as well as my own. And I find that that helps. That's it for now, everybody, and tune in next time to learn a little bit more about singing tricks of the trade. Bye!